Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and thank you for clicking on today's video. So as you can tell, we are back in the home office here and you guys know how much time I spend in here. This is my YouTube studio / home office and I'm always trying to make little improvements to try to take this space to the next level. And since we all are spending a little bit more time at home right now, I figure what better time to share a few tips and ideas with you guys on how to make the most out of your own space, whether it be just a home office, a YouTube studio, or maybe you're even getting a setup for streaming. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, now the first thing everybody needs in their home office is a mini fridge. I'm just kidding. Who else even would buy a mini fridge for their office? Come on, Johnny. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you guys about, and that is going to be lighting. I'm going to talk to you guys about a few different types of lighting, but first we're going to talk about natural light. So right now I'm being lit by this large window right here that is by my MacBook setup. So first of all, natural light has a lot of benefits. Obviously, it's gonna be free. And then personally, I think it gives you some of the best looking light that you possibly can. If I'm ever shooting product photos or B-roll of certain products, if I have the chance to use natural light, 100% I'm going to. If the sun is setting right on your window, sometimes it can be pretty harsh, but if you can somehow diffuse the natural light a little bit, whether it be with blinds, curtains, or maybe it's just like the morning or afternoon so the sun isn't so harsh, you can get some seriously beautiful looking light. So definitely love natural light. So whenever you are setting up your office, definitely keep in mind where the windows are. Maybe you want a desk right up against it. Maybe you kind of want a desk near it just so you can get some of that natural light. Now, not everybody's gonna have access to natural light in their office. Maybe you're in the middle of a building, or maybe you're even in the basement, or maybe it's in the winter time and it gets dark at 4 p.m. outside, but luckily there are some workarounds for that. So the next type of light we're gonna talk about is artificial light. So if you guys see this light behind me right here with this huge softbox on it, that is actually my Aperture 120D Mark II. I picked that guy up at the end of December because of exactly what I was talking about. I just didn't have any natural light when it was winter time. I could only film like 1 or 2 things on the weekend, and I just wanted to be able to shoot things in the evening or when I didn't have any natural light. Let me give you guys a closer look at this light. Now, this is not gonna be a big in-depth review on this light. If that's something that you guys are interested in though, let me know in the comments below and maybe I will do that. So this light, I have it on a light stand so I can move it all around the room. If you guys have seen any of my sit down interview style type videos, this is what's gonna be lighting me most of the time with that. As you guys can see, it is super bright and it actually comes with a remote that you can turn it on and off. You can turn it down and also turn it back up as well. And a lot of times what I'll do if I'm filming something and I don't want it directly on me, maybe I just want some ambient light, I will just tilt it up at the ceiling like that and it's gonna add a little bit more ambient light to the whole room. But like I said, I love a light like that that's on a light stand because then I can kind of move it around the office for whatever I'm filming. And actually that light is amazing for B-roll as well, especially if I'm trying to film something later in the night and I don't have any natural light. I'll raise that light up, shine it down over top of a product, and it's gonna make that product look really, really nice. Overhead lighting on products always look good. Now, I will say this light is not the cheapest light out there, but I will link this down below if you're interested in checking it out, as well as another light that's comparable, but still a little bit cheaper as well. I will say, I feel like people don't invest in lighting as much as they should, and I get it, it's not as fun of a purchase as a camera or a new lens or a computer or anything like that, but if you're looking to up the quality of the gear that you already have, having good lighting is absolutely gonna change that for you. When I did pick up that 120D at the end of December, if you go back and look at my videos, it's crazy to see the difference of quality of my videos now than it was back then when I was trying to makeshift lights. So definitely think about it, but the last type of lighting I wanna briefly touch on back here are these lights I have on the walls. I have a LifeX beam over here. I actually have another LifeX beam up here. And I also have these LifeX tiles back here in the back. Not only do they add a little bit of light whenever I'm walking around the room, they even add a little hair light whenever I'm filming this way and I have lights behind me. And these lights are dope because you can change them to any color you want to be or mix the colors using their app. And most importantly for me, they really help create that vibe that I want in my home office, which is gonna bring me to my next point. You wanna keep in mind the aesthetic and the vibe that you're going for in your home office. Just your background, the overall environment, everything. For me, this is probably the most fun part of having my own creative space. As you guys can probably tell behind me, or if you guys have checked out my home office tour as well, I have everything from the walls to the shelves to the basketball hoop to even things on my desk. They're all gonna be things that either inspire me, motivate me, maybe they're other hobbies, or just things that I'm flat out passionate about. Now, this is the first time I've ever had my own dedicated space to do my creative work. I've always either been in like a corner of my bedroom, my kitchen table, all the way back to a dorm room. And I gotta be honest, turning this second bedroom into my own office has totally been a game changer. Just being able to walk in here and shut the door, turn on the lights, turn on some music, look around, and I'm just surrounded by things that I love or that inspire me. I've never had that before, and I'm more productive, I feel more motivated, and I feel more creative. And even if you don't have the luxury of having your own home office yet, like I said, I've been there before. If you're still at your kitchen table, your counter, or even your bedroom, just making the most out of the space you can. Maybe you can add a little light, some decorations to your desk. Just do a few little things that help motivate you whenever you sit down to work. I'm telling you, it's gonna help you out. One thing that I've been doing recently that honestly anyone could do, I've actually been putting these sticky notes on the wall behind me. I've either been writing down some ideas or even some motivational things up here. This one right here, small progress is still progress. So yeah, something I've just been doing, and honestly it just kind of helps motivate me, put me in the right mindset. Just kind of got that idea, but I'm really digging it. Okay guys, the next thing you're gonna wanna keep in mind is sound. One thing that you're gonna wanna do right away in your space is get rid of some of that echo. You want to fill up your office with some things that can kind of help dampen some of that sound. Now luckily for me, my floor is covered in carpet, which is a huge win, but you could pick up a large rug for your place. You could have a couple acoustic blankets to kind of cover some surface areas. That might help. Now I don't wanna get too technical here, and I'm definitely not an audio genius, so just speaking from experience and from what I've learned, but if you fill your space with more objects, there's gonna be more surface areas for those audio waves to bounce off of. It's gonna help get rid of some of that echo. Now for the microphones that I use in my space right now, I'm actually recording with the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. That is the best microphone that I personally own. But another great option that I use quite a lot is actually my Rode Video Micro. Now this is going to be about a fifth of the price of my Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. Man, these names are tricky sometimes. This microphone is really, really good for the price. I've talked about this thing a bunch before, so I won't talk about it a whole lot here, but those are kind of the two microphones that I use. If I'm ever doing like a sit down interview style video in here, a lot of times what I'll do, instead of having my shotgun microphone on my camera, I actually will boom my audio as close to my mouth as possible. The closer that you can get the microphone to your mouth, the better your audio will sound. It will sound more clear, it will help get rid of some of that background noise, and overall you're just gonna get some better sounding audio. I covered that a little bit more in my kind of behind the scenes look of how I film a YouTube video, so definitely check that out if you're interested. And whenever I'm doing kind of a run and gun style vlog, I'll just keep a shotgun microphone on my camera. It's going to be 10 times better than the internal audio recording on your camera, so definitely avoid that if you can. So pick up a good shotgun microphone or even a more budget-friendly microphone. Get it as close to your face as you can when you're speaking. Pair that with dampening some of the sound in your office, and that right there is gonna get you some great sounding audio. The next thing to keep in mind is you want your workspace to have multiple uses. Now this setup right here behind me, my MacBook setup, this is where I spend about 95% of my time in this office. And I do a lot of different things at this workspace. I do all my creative work, so I edit my photos and videos here. Phone calls, I shoot a lot of my product photos here. I shoot a lot of B-roll on here. If you look at my thumbnails, a lot of my thumbnails have been shot here. And in a lot of these videos, it's even kind of a set piece or part of my background. So yeah, this workspace definitely has a few different uses for me. And I think that's really important to keep in mind whenever you are kind of designing your own space or trying to make it a little bit better. So try to think through all the different ways that you could use your space and see if you can do anything to help utilize that. Or you could be like me and build yourself a second desk with my custom PC here. So whenever I sit down to game, I also do that in my home office. It's just another way I'm using this space. See, multi-use. It's starting to get hot here and I gotta turn off the air whenever I'm talking to you guys. I'm kind of dying. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, and something you should definitely keep in mind for your own space, is what gear and equipment you're going to use. So for myself, I obviously need some equipment for my YouTube channel, so I need a camera setup, and I actually have a few videos talking a little bit more about that stuff in depth, but briefly I'll cover kind of what I use. My main camera is a Canon EOS R. I love that thing. I use it for pretty much all my stuff. Photos, videos, B-roll, anything I need it pretty much can handle. My lens is a Canon 16-35 f4.0. That's what I use most of the time. Like I mentioned before, my two microphones that I use is a Rode Video Mic Pro Plus and then a Rode Video Micro as well. You guys know about my light, my Aperture 120D Mark II. And when it comes time for me to actually edit this stuff and kind of work on the things that I've shot, I use my 2018 MacBook Pro. I use that for all my creative work. I still like being able to have a device that's mobile because when I actually can, I travel quite a bit, so I want something that I can work with along on the road. And it's powerful enough, it does everything I need if I'm editing 4K stuff, things with effects, everything like that. Now don't grill me too much in the comments because I do have that beast of a PC in the background over there. I just personally like working off of my Mac when it comes to creative work. It's been like that for like 10 years for me. I know they're both capable. It's all just kind of opinion. It's kind of like the Ford versus Chevy, even though I'm team Ford. But yeah, that's kind of my main setup, and I've found that's just kind of the gear that works best for my workflow. And that's definitely something to keep in mind when you see other creators using different equipment, whether it be cameras, computers, lights, everything, right? Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's workflow is gonna be different. Everybody's needs are gonna be different. So try not to compare yourself and your gear to other people. Everyone's situation is gonna be different, so you need to find what just works best for you. So guys, that's a few tips and ideas I think everyone should keep in mind for their own space. Hopefully you guys were able to take something away from today's video, and maybe you can even apply one of these things to your own office. Let me know in the comments below, what is one thing that you guys are looking to improve on or upgrade in your own office. For myself, it is definitely my MacBook monitor, which actually something got delivered today, so be on the lookout for that. But that's gonna be it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, drop it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel out. If you're new around here, consider hitting that sub button. I'd really appreciate it. I try to make a lot of content trying to help other creators create better looking content. That is a mouthful. My name is Johnny. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.